to my channel. Today I thought I would do something a little different since it's Mother's Day. This is, if you haven't guessed it yet, my mom.
Sarah's mom.
That's my mom. Her name is Patty. I thought I'd ask some of the questions that you guys want answered and we can find out a little bit more about my mom. So I'm the 6th kid out of all of my mom's kids.
Yes, she is.
When did you first meet my dad?
I was 13 when I met your dad. He worked with your grandma, actually my mom.
Yeah.
So he was he was somebody who worked with my mother.
He's a bit older.
Yeah, about 7 years older.
Yeah. So you guys just did the math right now.
Yeah.
All right. You were 14 when you got pregnant with Juan?
Yes, I was 14 when I got pregnant with Juan.
Juan is my oldest brother.
Mm-hmm.
And then...
And I was 15 when I had him.
Yeah, she was the original 15 and pregnant.
Yeah.
14 and pregnant! MTV!
Yeah. That show should have been my show.
MTV!
Yeah.
Where are you at though? Send a check. You guys, how old were you when you guys got married?
16. Right after, the month after my 16th birthday.
Is that like the legal age?
Yeah, that's the legal age,
like...
yeah. My mom, Sarah's grandma, had to sign the papers that says that I could get married. And actually it was your dad and my mom's idea.
Yeah.
You know, or that basically, I wasn't opposed to it, but they were,
yeah.
I remember coming home from school and they were like, we've been talking. You know?
Yeah, they were kind of like your parents.
They were. It was really weird.
Yeah.
It wasn't a gross situation. It was a weird situation.
Yeah.
I remember you would hang around and I had my school friends and we would walk around downtown and, they'd come over and everything. And I remember after he, somehow, he came to the house and we got met. I remember sometimes I'd be ready to go out with my friends, go walking. And here would come your dad down the street.
We're going to the Alamo.
I was like, oh, here he comes. It was definitely not like love at first sight or attraction at first sight or something. It just kind of somehow came into my life and things just became things, I guess.
This is not a totally uncommon thing that happened, I would say, especially back in the day.
Right.
Yeah, I mean... Yeah. It's definitely... My dad was Mexican too. Did he even know, did he know good English by the time you guys met?
And he was obsessed with my school books.
Oh yeah, he would just read them.
He wanted to learn English, and he learned English really fast.
I
don't think it took 6 months for him to learn.
And he has always known really good English.
Yeah, he speaks very good
well.
English. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And you guys got married when you were 16, so my dad would have been 22, 21,
7 years old.
I'm not good at math.
He was 23.
23. That's my next guess.
He was almost 23. He was 22. He would have been 23 a couple months later.
So was Sandra already?
Basically, she was our marriage baby.
I also have one older sister, so just so you guys know the names if they get thrown out here, it's Juan, Sandra. So Juan was 80, Sandra was 82, Jeffrey was 83, Josh was 85, Jason was 86, Sarah was 88. The biggest gap in the kids is between me and my brother Jason, and it's 1 year, 364 days, because his birthday's the day after mine, but just shy of 2 years.
We were like 4 when we actually got divorced.
Right.
You were 3.5-ish when we separated. Yeah. So,
and then I would say, I think part of what I would say is really challenging, if there's some things that my mom and I have in common as far as kind of the steps that we took that maybe my other siblings didn't take. Because my siblings for the most part are married with kids. Except for one, and I was not married, and I did have kids, and I'm the only one that's not with the person that I had kids with. And I would say that you kind of had something similar, right? Except, you guys obviously got married.
Yeah, we got married, but it was, and it was just a different thing that caused the demise of our marriage. Yeah. Which for us, it was alcoholism, so.
Yeah, on my dad's end. Yeah, my dad, so my dad was an alcoholic. That was
the major #1 thing. And I think the other thing was just when you're 14, 15, you're a kid. You're just kind of going with the program, and then and then when I started to get 22, 23, I started really developing my own self and who I wanted to be, and it was like you start getting a mind of your own. He was possessive.
Yeah.
Yes. Too.
He
did not want me to work.
No, they're kind of old school.
Yeah. So he was he would have been happy if I was at home and pregnant forever.
Yeah.
So.
to kind of fast forward then, as far as that relationship goes, you guys got divorced in 92. My dad, he remarried like the next day?
Pretty much, just about, it seemed like. Within a few months he remarried.
Yeah. But then you were with Solomon. Who is, that's my stepdad.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of the person that I ended up growing up with was Solomon. My dad was around for a few years, and you guys, you split the kids, right?
Yep.
How long did that even last? Because then
it lasted about 2 years.
Every other weekend, then like the three at my mom's house would go to my dad's house, and then the next weekend the three at my dad's house would go to my mom's house. So I was at my mom's house. I pretty much always lived with my mom.
So they were always together on the weekend.
Right, yeah. On the weekends we were always together, but we did live kind of far apart for the most part.
Yeah.
Like an hour.
Yeah.
Right, at least.
Yeah. The kids slowly came one at a time. First, Sarah's sister Sandra came.
Yeah.
And then one of her other brothers.
Yeah, meaning they moved out of my dad's house and decided they wanted to live with my mom.
Yeah.
And then, and then Jason, and then Jeffrey was the last one. So, but then my dad divorced. That marriage was fun, because that was like, there was an additional 4 boys. So at one point it was like 4 real brothers, 4 stepbrothers, 1 sister, and a lot of chaos. It was crazy.
You guys went through a lot of babysitters.
Yeah, oh my gosh. That could have been a whole reality show of us trying to find a babysitter that wouldn't run out of the house screaming and lit on fire, basically. Like, it was insane. My dad got married again, and this is kind of where things changed as far as like my growing up with them, because then my dad got married again, and then instead of 4 brothers, it was 3 sisters. It was 3 stepsisters, and then they left, right?
Yep.
So that was brief, but then they left and they moved to Mexico. And that was kind of like the end of my dad playing dad in my life, but not necessarily my siblings' lives. You've been on your own for a long time, right? I mean, and then when you guys got divorced, you were on your own.
Yeah.
And like, she met my, my stepdad, and she and my stepdad were together, but it wasn't like, they didn't get married and everything right immediately.
No,
and
I think Sarah and I have a lot of that in common, where we are very strong and we take care of our own. We don't have anybody in our life to fill that need, he filled it in a sense, you know, probably a little bit later on, but it was like, I didn't need somebody in my life to help me with my kids. I didn't want somebody in my life to help me with my kids, so that's not why he was there.
You have more power and control when you can say, I depend on me, and so do my kids.
So do my kids.
Oh, and I think it's important to note here, like my mom said, like I didn't have, we don't like depend on people, but like I could literally at any point depend on my mom. And I always had my mom. Like when I broke up with my kid's dad, I went home, okay?
Yeah, I told her she needed to
go home. Like I literally drove home. I could go home. My mom didn't have a home. Like there's a whole part of her life that we're not even touching on here, but she didn't have anyone else.
Right. I didn't have that person that I could go to ever in my life. Ever. I didn't. Yeah. I had a mom, but she wasn't someone who could be there in a lot of ways for me. I mean, she was there and she loved me, but that was pretty much it. She couldn't provide anything for me. Right. So. And
then my mom has siblings.
Yeah.
But they're definitely not from like a traditional kind of way. It wasn't like mom and dad got together, had a bushel of kids, and this is who you grew up with.
No, mom just had a bushel of kids by a bushel of men.
Yeah, I mean, frankly, right?
But on that, I love my mom dearly. She just had a hard life. And for whatever reason, she did things the way she did them. But I've never ever had anything bad to say about her. I mean, I feel sorry for her, if anything. Yeah. It's a rough life,
Yeah.
And,
I think because one thing that I remember is I think part of the reason some of you might wonder, why would you stick out in a relationship that you didn't want to be in, or, maybe even from the jump, I don't know, is because
I wanted all my kids to have the same parents.
Yeah, so, she wanted to have all her kids with the same person.
My kids were going to have the same parents, and I wanted them to be
hell or high water.
Hell or high water, and I wanted them to be their own best friends. I wanted them to know each other and grow up with each other. And like Sarah said, that's a whole different story.
Yeah, but that's basically what you didn't have.
That's what I didn't have. There were 10 of us. I probably spent, at any one given time, maybe 3 years with any one of my siblings. So that's the most time I've spent with any of them, and actually the closest one was Sherry, which she's gone now. So
Yeah, you guys were pretty young when
when she died.
She died, yeah. And then your mom died a few years after the divorce, right?
Yep. Yeah.
It was
So 3 years later.
96?
96 she died.
96?
Yeah.
So, like I said, I have parents. Even if my mom couldn't do everything that we wanted, we never really went without anything that we actually needed. You know what I mean?
I think what's funny about you, Sarah, though, is that, and Solomon and I talk about this, is like Sarah's the child that, because Solomon and I never had children together, but she's been with us since, she's always been with me, but she's been in Solomon's life since she was 3.
Yeah.
Or 3 and a half.
He says he changed my diapers, which is a lie.
He likes to tell
There were no diapers involved.
But she's kind of like the child that we got to raise together.
Pretty much.
You know, because even when he got divorced, his kids, stayed with their mom. So Sarah's the one who was in our life, both of our lives, forever and the most.
Yeah.
So she's been our baby that we got to.
I've lived with them longer than anyone else.
Yep.
Yeah. So, so you guys had a bunch of questions. What did you think when I first told you I was pregnant? I remember my mom was sitting on the couch and I went and sat down and we were like, oh yes, I'm going to tell you.
Yeah, and you were, I know one of my first questions was about school, about college.
Oh yeah, because I was in college.
She was in college.
I was.
I would never ever be disappointed in one of my kids having a child. It's just, I love the kids, the grandkids, and anybody that's close to me knows that I love my close family like crazy. That's how I want to spend my time. I want to be that supportive person. I don't want to be that person that's like, I told you, or whatever. Right. Even though sometimes,
as a parent, you want to. And you don't want, obviously I'm a parent now too, but you don't want your kids to go through things that they don't need to go through. And sometimes you can see the future to some extent,
And they don't see it.
Right. And they're kind of like in the moment versus like, what does this moment mean for the rest of my life?
And you're very strong.
Yeah.
Sarah's very strong-minded. And so trying to tell her how she screwed something up with, it wasn't going to change the fact that you were pregnant. And it wasn't going to do us any good, So basically, let's see how we can make this a positive thing.
What's funny though is then someone asked, well, what did she think the second time? Which is only, my friends, only 9 months later, okay? Because I got pregnant, basically, my kids are only 9 months apart. Yeah. So that one was funny.
That was funny.
That was after the first baby was there and saw cute and cuddly, and she fell in love with Nala Rae. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
This is a month later.
And then I remember that day because
we were doing our taxes.
Yeah, he says, she keeps complaining that she feels sick. She's throwing up and everything. And I keep telling her she's pregnant. And I'm like, she probably is. And then I
went home. Yeah, we had a pregnancy test.
And sure enough, and I thought it was hilarious.
I remember walking out of that bathroom and I was like, look at this! And I throw it at him and our 1-month-old baby. And I'm like, what is this? And I remember calling my mom and everyone thought it was the funniest thing ever.
It was.
They just thought it was so hilarious. Oh, they're going to be in the same grade.
Yeah.
A lot of people want to know how much trouble I was or like what kind of kid I was growing up. I was no trouble at all.
Sarah actually was a kid that I wouldn't say, I don't want to use the word rely on. Sarah was the kid that I knew was going to do the smart thing for the most part versus her brothers. Her brothers...
Yeah, they really softened the blow for me.
Yes, they did.
They did some things.
They did some things. And Sarah didn't do the dumb things.
No.
Sarah's was more like she had this period in her life where she thought she hated her brothers.
I did.
And they tortured her.
They were terrible.
And, yes, and I would come home from work and she'd just be like, I hate them! I was like...
So you guys have 4 older brothers and no adult supervision with them during the day.
Yeah.
And then at night, because my mom worked all the time. I think my mom was always at work. Like, she worked a lot.
Or sleeping.
Basically, yeah.
Because I had crazy hours.
Yeah. And she'd have, like, basically middle of the night hours. And then, so, like, in the morning, we would go to school kind of on our own.
Yep.
And then, or we wouldn't. That was one of the things, is, like, we would kind of Well, like, I was bad in the sense that, like, I would skip school or I would eventually commit crimes that I was good because I didn't let my mom find out about these things. Okay?
She was smart.
I was smart. I did things that I shouldn't have done, but I was nice enough. I was so courteous. I didn't let my mom find out so that, you know, she'd have to deal with that. That's what a good kid does. Live your life, okay?
You don't eat all the hamburgers while mom's at work.
Oh, yeah, that was Jason's friends. We would skip school, but then sometimes...
They'd eat all the food.
They'd eat all the food while we were at home. So when my parents got home, they'd be like, how is all the food gone if you guys were at school? Oh, a lot of people also want to know how you feel about Lewis or what your thoughts are.
I love Lewis.
Don't we all? Actually, my whole family really likes him.
Yes, I love Lewis. I think that he needs to ask my daughter to marry him. Get that, Lewis? Okay, I'm waiting patiently, but my patience are wearing thin.
His mom does the same thing.
He's very kind. He opens the door for me. He stands up, gives me a hug when I come in. He's when I'm leaving, he walks to the door. Not 100% of the time, but I'm good with that. I know how to let myself out. Yeah. He's very polite, and what I see with the kids and Sarah, that he treats them well. And every day is or week or whatever, I learn something new. That he's doing with the kids. I believe he's going to marry my daughter one day, and I believe that he's going to be that. I tell the kids, you're going to have two dads, because I think that I think already he does an awesome job with the kids, and he will continue to be an awesome job with the kids. So he has interest in their lives, and I love that. He's just not some guy just sitting there. He helps the kids with, with the fun stuff and with the learning stuff. If they have struggles or whatever, and then I know now that, he's doing the stuff with their Bible and stuff like that. So,
they have Bible study on the
I really
weekends.
love that. So Nal and Jaden, they come with us to church every Sunday.
Yeah.
And they love it. And Lewis is working with the kids on their own little thing. So
yeah, he's a great. Obviously, I love him. He's great.
Yeah,
my favorite.
He is. He's a great guy.
He's very different from any other relationship
Yeah.
or anything that I've ever been in. And I think, you guys
and Sarah's gonna be my traditional wedding. Well, probably with a whole lot of flair.
Oh man.
But I can't wait. I can't wait.
Yeah.
Sob Solom's gonna sob really bad when he gets to do the daddy-daughter, dance, the father-daughter dance, or whatever. So
should be real cute.
Or he gets to give you away.
Oh man.
Yeah.
What did you think of Sarah bringing home, one, like being with a black guy now, and then two, having kids with one? It was like, I didn't even know if I would ask, because I'm like, it was never really, it wasn't some moment. Someone said, well, how did you tell your mom? I'm like, well, my mom's not racist, so like.
Yeah, there was really no telling.
No.
I
think people kind of expected it.
It's a little more of a judge on like character and how people behave. Because and we've met people in every race that are just like, good grief. Every single race has its little stuff in the corner there you'd prefer not to, my own family, for example, from Iowa, like, let's not bring them into the picture. Okay. It was funny because other people, like if I would tell somebody else, and occasionally I would get, well, why are you letting her date a black guy? Well, why not?
Right? Excuse me,
yeah.
And people are like, well, what do you think of Lewis's family? And they haven't actually met Lewis's family for the most part. You guys met his cousin? You met Tyrone. Yeah.
Who's awesome. I love
Tyrone. Fashionable, shout out.
I love Tyrone. Actually, I'm a little envious of Tyrone and Lewis because they can put together some outfits that we would look like a fool wearing.
They're definitely very fashionable.
They are.
Why was it important when you raised us to make sure that like we knew Spanish and stuff?
I felt like it was important to know their heritage, and not only that, but a lot of people don't know that my kids are half Mexican because
you don't look at it.
Yeah, because Sarah's dad, her biological dad, is very light skinned. He's from a region that's a lighter tone, and so I wanted, and my kids all have blue eyes.
There's colored eyes. Even my dad has colored eyes.
And so I wanted the kids to be able to speak Spanish so that they could at least have that as their heritage, Plus their mamanchui, their
my grandma.
Their grandma. she didn't speak English. So, I mean, it was important for me.
Mm-hmm. Also, we didn't grow up with my mom's family for the most part.
Nope, it was
my dad's side. If there was a family involved, even now, like for the most part, for the mass majority, if we have family involved, it's my dad's side of the family. Even still to this day, my mom goes to all my dad's side of the family's, like all their parties and everything. Like she's been to more of them than my dad ever has.
Yes, because I divorced their dad. I didn't divorce his family.
Right.
And they feel the same way. It's actually worked that way in the relationship now.
Yeah.
Even, like I go somewhere and my current husband's ex-wife is there and her husband and whatever.
Yeah. It's really like a family affair. Everyone's
it really is
there.
First of all, nobody got divorced because of another person.
Oh, yeah.
You know, so it wasn't like
cheating and stuff like that.
Cheating and stuff like that. So that wasn't behind the divorces. And so, you know, these were just marriages that went bad. And so we just we all get along.
Plus, I think as you get older and stuff, even like my relationship ended because of a lot of cheating and stuff. But even now, like I think as you get older, you just kind of realize like it's really not about this relationship. Mm-hmm. It's about like your relationship with the kids and then the families as a whole. Yep. Like, you know, you just kind of grow into it and it's not as big of a deal anymore. Like people ask all the time if Lewis and Davi get along. They literally have absolutely no reason not to get along. It says, what do you think about us being on YouTube? They mean like Sandra, my sister Sandra's got a YouTube channel. Myself, Jason has been on YouTube. Our family's very immersed
in YouTube.
Yeah. What did you think of it all?
I was really hoping it was going to work out, and I didn't know at that time a lot about it, and even now, I mean, I know a little bit more how it all works and everything, you know. Every one of my kids, they are determined hard workers, and I knew that she would take it, you know, and so I think I supported her more than a couple other people that had some doubts, you know.
I think because people don't even, especially back when I started, people don't know what to expect. And it's just weird. Yeah. It's like, oh, you're doing this on YouTube, you know, or you're talking about this on YouTube.
And even now, I mean, I'll tell people what you do. They're like, she does what?
I know. Can she make money doing that?
She makes money? You know?
Everybody wants to know how you make money.
Yes, you know. But I also let everybody know that, you know, Sarah did go to college. You know, she's a great communicator, you know.
I graduated. My mom graduated too.
Yes.
If I'm not mistaken, did we graduate the same year from when you graduated from nursing school?
We did.
And I graduated. We had a matching graduation party.
Yeah.
Because my mom did go back and go to school.
I originally got a GED because I
had a bushel of children.
Yes, I had, you know, I had 3 children by the time would have been my graduation. Sure. So yes, I ended up leaving school. Actually, I got booted out because I lived on the wrong side of town.
Haters.
And my mother was like, again, controlling my life. Saying, you're not going to East High. Which, by the way, is where these guys
That's where we all went. We've got a 1 rating on grade schools. Yeah, Shout out to all my EA grads. Yeah, after we were all grown,
I went back to school.
She went back to school, right?
I always wanted to. I just had this desire to be a nurse, and so I went back to school, and
she became one.
I became a nurse.
After working in manufacturing
for about 18 years, somewhere around there.
I mean, it wasn't a pretty job.
No, it was a hard job.
It was a body hard job.
It was a body hard job.
Yeah, physically hard.
I mean, it was well paying, but it wasn't what I wanted to do.
Yeah, it was not like glamorous work or anything.
So it was just, I decided to follow my calling.
Yeah. Yep. Mom's got a pretty great work ethic. Yep. Like, she literally never, there was no like,
I've never missed a day of work.
Right. Like, there's no like, oh, I'm not going to work. It's like, the priority was, you know, us and the family and taking care of us. And when you have nothing to rely on and nothing to fall back on, what can you do but succeed? I mean, you either fall back on excuses or you make it happen. And she definitely never had excuses for anything. I mean, like I said, we didn't have every single thing in the world, but we probably had a lot more than, I think even back then, like us getting like a system or something for Christmas. Yeah. Like Christmas was always major. Yeah. I feel like that's when my mom was like, okay. Yeah. Okay, we're gonna show out right now. Yeah. Like, yeah.
Because I couldn't do it all year long, so I did it at Christmas.
So Christmas was like major, which I think is why I think all of us for our first 2 years as parents, we've all gone like above and beyond with our kids to the point where now we're like, hey, we need to cool it down, okay? What do you think is the best like quality or trait or something from yourself that you think you passed down to me or any of the other children?
And not in a bad way, in a very good way. I mean, you guys are all very like strong,
Minded.
yeah, strong-headed, strong,
Yeah.
like very. There is no poor me.
Right.
There's none of that, you know. And then their work ethic, I think, is amazing. All of them, all in different ways, you know. And I think they got a lot of that from seeing Solomon, my husband, and myself, like how we work.
Definitely, we got like determination.
And I think family. I think that you guys know how much you guys mean to us.
Yeah.
And I think you guys show that to your kids. Like nobody's just there, you know. You know, they're very involved, and you guys are all very involved in your kids, and that they're going to be good human beings and disciplinarians. Actually, they're probably better disciplinarians than I was. I was just...
She was very lax.
I was very lax, but it's kind of my personality. I didn't. It wasn't because I didn't care.
Yeah, I literally don't remember you ever yelling. You would think with like 6 kids, all like within 8 years, you know. And then my mom was so young, like she was 23 when she had me. Yeah. And I was the sixth child. So imagine having 6 kids at 23 with basically no one around to help you, no husband.
Yeah.
No, I mean, a couple years after, no husband, no parents, no, literally just nothing but you and a bushel of children. Yeah.
I wouldn't complain about it, you know what I mean? It's just,
that's another thing. There's no
complaining.
Yeah, there's no complaining or...
I don't need stuff.
Right.
You know, I strive for relationships with my family and my friends. And I'd rather have a good conversation than a gift. I do appreciate some nice gifts sometimes, but Sarah's been really nice to me. Got to go see Elton John this year.
Oh, yeah.
That was amazing.
I think it was your birthday. Birthday or Mother's Day from like last year, though. Yeah. I think. You're right. Like, we definitely all care about our families. And it's like our families first. Like, my mom never had to shake any of us to be like, you need to take care of your kid.
Never.
Never, not even close. Like, and if any of us was going through something, it probably had to do with not being around our kid as much for one reason or another. Growing up, if we don't... It mattered. It mattered to them. We had each other. It
bothered them. Like Juan, you know, it bothered him how much he was traveling. And he still does travel a little bit. Yeah. But there was a time when he was traveling a lot. And it bothered him. He was like, I can't keep doing this because I want to be in my kid's life. And then same thing like said with Jason. You know, it was like, it bothered him. He needed to do something because he's like, it's important to them to be fathers, you know, and stuff. And Sarah's older sister, Sandra, you know, I mean.
People ask why Sandra's never like, oh, why wasn't Sandra at this? Or why isn't, you know, why don't you bring in her video or something? Like, Sandra's priority in her life is
her children.
Her family. I mean, in her marriage, she's been married forever. And
it's going to be...
She's got to be coming up on like 20 years,
19 years this October.
Yeah, I mean, and, you know, that's definitely something that we got from our mom was we need our family to be good, basically. You were a grandparent at like 35. 35. Some of us are barely having our kids at 35. She already had a grandkid. Yeah. She said, let me try this out.
It was funny. I went to Panera. I met Juan for breakfast a couple weeks ago. And I went in there, and there's all these, you know, other, like, senior people, you know, they're having their coffees and stuff like that. And Juan walks in, and, you know, he gives me a hug and everything and stuff like that. I was like, I wonder what people are thinking.
Oh, yeah, because some people have thought that, like, my mom and Juan, because they're only 15 years apart.
Yeah.
I mean...
You
don't necessarily assume a mother and son. I think you were, like, a testament to, like... I mean, there's a lot of stuff that we didn't touch on and share in this video, but like you can go through a lot and have a lot of things happen in your life, and then maybe things go, you know, how you would have never planned it, basically. But then you can, you know, if you just focus and...
You're in charge.
You really are. I mean,
you're in charge.
You can make anything happen. It was steps. Like when you guys separated, we went to the apartment. Yep. And then from an apartment was like a rented house. Yep. And then from that you... Bought your own house. I bought a home on her own.
On my own. Even though Solomon was there.
Right. Yeah.
I bought it on my own because the first few years of our relationship even was, you know, when you bring, I mean, he knew I had 6 kids when we started dating, but...
It wasn't a surprise.
It wasn't a surprise. I'd like pull them out of the closet one day.
It's us.
But,
welcome.
But he and his 2 children are a little bit older, and our main issue was one of those children, and we all totally adore him now.
Yeah.
You know, but he had a rough teenage years, I'd say, which his roughness played into our relationship.
I mean, because when you meet someone else that has kids, I've never gone through that, but you meet someone that has kids, you know, they're working with the other parent too to raise those kids that you technically don't really have any control over.
Yep.
And then there were boundaries there. Solomon didn't, you know, he didn't step in and start trying to take care of us like that. No. I mean, that took time. Plus, they didn't get married until later on. They were together for a long time before they got married.
I do believe that us finding our church family and our church home really did a lot for our relationship.
Yeah.
You know, I started going by myself, and then he joined me shortly after. I don't think it was a couple months. And just knowing, you know, bringing God back into my life and and into his life and everything, we just, it hit us hard, you know, and we just, our relationship's done nothing but get better, you know, from there.
Yeah, Solomon's really changed as well.
Yes.
He's never like a bad guy, but he's he's
very mellow. Everybody loves him.
I've never met anyone that was like, oh man, I don't like that guy. Like,
well, no, if anything, they love him more than I do.
Love Solomon.
Yep.
Children love Solomon.
Oh yeah, and
Solomon never complains.
Yep. He loves children more than he loves adults.
Yeah. He never complained. Like my mom never missed work. Solomon, he's the same way. They work together.
40. He's been there for 39 years. 40 years this year, maybe. 40 and years. He's missed one day of work in 40 years unpaid.
And this man works like 70 hours a week.
Yep.
No joke.
Nope.
And he will go out of his way to do anything, especially for the kids.
For the kids, for the grandkids.
Especially
like, oh, they got a game. Oh, they got that. Let's go watch this.
Yeah, let's go do it. And never complains about anything, ever. Like, I think, you know what? And like Solomon was a good role model for me too, to think like, you know what? That's really the kind of person that you want, in your life, and to help you with your own kids. So, I think you guys did a great job.
Thank you.
Lewis is here now. Yeah. But we're wrapping it up anyway.
All right.
All right. Well, thanks for being here. Happy Mother's Day. I'll give you a gift later.
Oh, and I get a hug from her when she doesn't like me to hug her.
I don't like it.
Have bony arms.
I know she is.
And they're going to get bonier.
She's very bony.
Because
too much.
Because we're running a marathon.
My mom's running the Chicago Marathon.
Yeah.
I'll put her link below. Go donate.
Yes, if anybody wants to donate, because, you know, she's
never run before, and now she's going to do a marathon, and we're all worried about her.
Yes, I'm going to run 26.2 miles in October.
I've never seen her run 0.2 miles, so I'm excited.
I've been doing it. I got my run to prove it.
Oh, I know. Yeah, no, I get the MyFitnessPal updates every day. But, all right, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and happy Mother's Day, guys.
Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening.